Alright, I just want to do this really quick. So yeah, today everything kind of happened the way I actually thought it would happen, but not the way that I thought it would happen. YM came out and took out the prior week high here, and then respected that daily bearish fair value gap, and then obviously you can see the giant wick there. And then these guys all came up into their same inefficiencies. Russell was already up into here, and wait, so yeah. Things are rejecting. That's exactly what we were looking for. And then 4-hour chart. Oh man, I keep doing this. I was looking for daily. Is there any daily inefficiencies? There is one on NASDAQ and ES, but they're not developed yet. Okay. So yeah, came up there. The short on Russell was there the whole day. Um, so I should have done better trading today. I should have had the short there. I should have had the short on NASDAQ at the open. So I just need to stop being scared to take trades is all. All right. So yeah, it looks like we're respecting that area of interest. Um, YM can totally, we totally created a soup here too, by the way, still. So I think YM is could definitely head lower. I'm not sure if it will. Let's look at the flow. Let's start with the flow. So yeah, this is Friday. And then into today, Russell was bearish, and then we started to get the move down, and then that's when we had calls being dumped all day, and then they started to buy some, sold them all off again, and then flatlined. But into the whole down move, they started um, unloading their puts. So it's not flat out bullish, but it's looking like we're setting up for another bullish day soon on Russell at least. So yeah, just looking for, excuse me, an SMT. So puts. The thing is, most of the volume was in the calls. So and calls were still being sold. They did flatline here, and this pump was, yeah, calls being bought, and yeah. So it's not bullish yet, but they are taking profits. Qs, calls were ramping up, puts were selling off. Calls ramped up really hard on the Qs and then sold off, with puts really coming higher, and calls were definitely being sold all day after into the move down. We did get a small bounce there, but puts were up too. So I'd actually look for probably continuation for NASDAQ to the downside, at least based on the flow. Um, SPY, bearish puts all day long. Why does it seem so small? Why is it so zoomed out? Maybe one day. Whatever. There we go. Puts rising all day, even into the dump, and calls being sold all day long too. So I think this probably isn't over. But if we look at the tide, we have, calls came up, and then calls being sold and puts being bought. And it just seems like this is just going to continue for SPY. There's nothing in the flow indicating it's going to like bounce. Oh, yeah, we did. Okay. So yeah, overall it does still look bearish, especially for SPY and NASDAQ. Russell's a little bit different story, but that makes sense because it's exactly what we're looking for in the Russells to diverge. So yeah, now that we've seen that, there's no higher time frame shifts here, but I don't. We would need to zoom in to figure that out. Still nothing on the 1 hour, but yeah, we are still rejecting here. We had that bearish SMT still in play, which for the Dow Jones, and then we got the manipulation higher on ES, and we had some SMT there. So everything was there for the short today. We took out, looks like we took out 9 a.m. This morning's low, we have shifted to the downside on maybe just the 15-minute, I guess. So yeah, maybe this area of interest here is going to play out for the Dow. I think the Dow is clearly bearish, probably the strongest out of everything. And yeah, look for, we have relative equal lows here on NASDAQ now. So that's going to be a really easy trade if we don't deliver there before tomorrow, if there is something. So yeah, that looks like I may just do this all tonight, honestly. And then I forgot the news. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow we have PMI and JOLTS 30 minutes after the open. So that's going to be a good day to trade. We have relative equal lows here on Russell. We've got those old lows on YM. We got lows on NASDAQ. We have SMT here though, with relative strength in the NASDAQ. So we've got relative strength showing up in the NASDAQ, so you'd expect it to deliver higher somewhere. So I think it may work out this overnight, hopefully, and come all the way back up here and give me the real short again. That would be banger. Banger! Sounds stupid. Why did I say that? Alright. But yeah, there is SMT on YM at these lows. But the problem is, I don't think that this is over yet. I mean, yeah, there is SMT, but YM looks like it's going to deliver lower based on the higher time frame order flow. Same thing with Russell. Russell manipulated higher, so we do have the bearish SMT still in play. So for there to be like a clean, because there's bearish SMT here with Russell, I would wait for a higher time frame range to get SMT to get long. So yeah, there's bullish SMT here, which may give a opportunity long, but to have real conviction, I would need, this range here, which would be here on Russell. So I don't know. I'm not saying Dow Jones is definitely going to go down that low, but it's just not as clean for me now. Yeah, I think the cleanest one is just looking short on Russell. Just doesn't make sense to me because of the flow. I look at the Dow Jones flow really quick. Really bullish flow into the end of the day. So that's interesting. So yeah, do we have any SMT here? Yeah, Dow has taken out these lows. The problem is the bearish SMT is playing out. And we have old relative equal low or highs here on ES, so maybe we're going to deliver down into there. We've got old relative equal lows there. Yeah. So yeah, SPY, there's nothing telling me to get long. Qs, there's nothing telling me to get long. I think we need one more move down to at least take out these lows. We do have the higher time frame SMT for the long bias still, so I can't knock that. But for a Russell long, it is just tricky. I think we would probably want to soup this and have Dow Jones probably come back down in a year. So, yeah. But yeah, so far that was a long there on NASDAQ. That played out pretty nice. And um, I think it still has to play out a bit more. Yeah, I'd only be looking for the New York. So yeah, there's the levels that I'm looking at. A short back up into here if Nasdaq doesn't come down, and maybe even all the way back down below these old lows or highs. I mean, and then since Russell manipulated these highs, it's tough. It just seems like it's gonna go pretty deep if it's gonna go. It's already manipulated these lows, so I think it's gonna at least come into a discount into this range now. So that kind of lines up with everything else, thinking that it goes lower. Uh, we do have very small time frame SMTs, but they're not significant. So Friday. So yeah. So yeah, it makes sense that we're getting the sell-off. I don't think that ES and Nasdaq need to come all the way back down. I think they just need to come work out something in here. And because Dow Jones is weaker, I just think that it's just going to give us the juice to give us another SMT, possibly below these higher time frame equal lows, or maybe just down into here. We'll have to wait for some sort of bullish flow. I don't have any bullish flow, so there's just no point in looking for longs. There may be a long tomorrow when after the open, but right now there's nothing. So my only bias is to look short right now. I would look long if the flow started to happen and we were in areas of interest. So I'll update that tomorrow. And yeah, just looking for a short if we can come back up into these areas with NASDAQ or ES or even the Dow. And how that would look would be like um, us SMTing a key level. So it looks like we already did. So I think it's already going to dump right here. We took out the PM session high. So right on the hourly, there's a fair value gap there, but can't get caught up into this price action because I'm going to wait for more to happen anyways. So, all right, that's the quick update before I go to bed so that tomorrow I have